I don't follow orders. I follow my dreams. I didn't hear from someone, but that I just applied to my life, and it became like really the way I do my life.
Welcome to Shades and Layers, the podcast that celebrates Black and women of color entrepreneurs across beauty, fashion, and beyond. I'm your host, Kutlwanos Kosana Richie. Join me for stories of creativity, resilience, and the layers of building something that lasts. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Shades and Layers. My guest today is Bisila Bokoko, an international businesswoman with roots in Spain and Equatorial Guinea. She's also an author and philanthropist who got her start in the corporate world both in Spain and the United States. Today we discuss her latest book, The Fear and I, a story of unexpected transformation. We also discuss her very first entrepreneurial venture into the wine business. She has a brand called Bisila Wines. We also get into her philanthropic work through her Bisila Bokoko African Literacy Project. Her story is a masterclass in self-awareness, ambition, fearlessness, and personal branding. Please enjoy the conversation. Who is Bisila and what is it about Spain that shaped your outlook on the world and business?
Well, I have to start by the beginning, and it's the roots, right? And just a puntualization, my roots go back to Equatorial Guinea. In Africa. My great-grandmother, I think she shaped my future because she ran away from a marriage of domestic violence and she made a decision to study. And at that time, Equatorial Guinea was a colony from Spain. So she was able to just go to school there. So
right, okay. Yeah.
And when she came back, she decided to create a school for girls that she called Waiso Ipola. Waiso Ipola, in the language of my ancestors, Bubi, means women raise up.
Okay.
And this great-grandmother, when she came back and created this school, she also decided to buy a little apartment in Spain. That's the reason why my roots go back to Spain. Because when my father, who is the grandson, went to college, stayed in that house, and then he met my mother, and I was born there. That's how I end up in Spain. And that's the reason why this kind of multiculturality started over there. And I think being raised between two walls that did not always understand each other also helped me to shape my future, because it was really this thing that in my house I was African and then I was European outside of the house.
Of course.
Or I tried to be. So I had a lot of identity crisis because you want to belong. And when you are young, you want to belong.
Absolutely.
I think that I decided that I don't have to be one thing or another. I could become a bridge. And at the end of the day, this is what it is. And my entrepreneurial journey started not with a business plan, what I'm here to do.
Yep.
Why I should do this. And then I decided to launch Bisila's Wines because I thought, why we are not in this kind of business? Why Africans were not in this kind of business?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I want that we have the best wines and we enjoy also life and we are exposed to a specific lifestyle. And that was the reason why I decided to start my journey there. And then I found the BBLP to create libraries in Africa. And this is who I am. I mean, I think that all the businesses that I did speak about who I am, also where I'm from.
Okay. So this deeper meaning you attach to your work, which is basically being a bridge and creating belonging. Do you think it was a push or it was something that happened naturally for you?
Both. I think the push came because I've been raised to be the best of my standards. Being the only Black kid in the school and coming home sometimes crying because some kids, insult me or they just pointed out that the fact that I was Black and I didn't understand all this. It make my parents say, you know what, you need to understand who you are, your story. So they were very intentional in the way I am. And stop crying. You're just going to do the best you can and go and get it. I had no choice, because my father told me, I'd rather you hate me than you come out not right.
Oh.
So this was clear. And success was not negotiable. you must be successful. Because if we came all the way from Africa to be here in Europe, you as a first generations, you have no choice to make it better. So yeah, I was pushed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, along the way, you find the opportunities because the way you think, it shapes your reality.
Absolutely.
So at the beginning, many doors were closed for me.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about 25 years ago, where the word diversity didn't even existed.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody
Yeah.
knew what was that. So back then, anytime I wanted to apply for a position, it was like, there's no place for you. So I also have to build that doors.
Yeah. And open them yourself.
Open them myself. Sometimes I have to sit myself in those tables because I was never being invited. So I think it's both. I mean, you also could be pushed, and it depends on many factors, but also you need to create the opportunities if they don't come. And this starts in the mind, because if you are thinking from the victim mentality, oh no, because I'm a woman, oh no, because I'm Black, oh no, because the economic background that I come from, I have no choices. I then go to these schools. Then you're telling a narrative that is not going to help you. So everything depends on the narrative that is inside of you. Your inner narrative is more important than the narrative that is out there.
Yeah. Tell me about some of the people, apart from your parents, who encouraged you along this path, because we all have these angels, who help us along on our way.
Yes, I think I had several. And the first one that came to my mind, it was one of my first boss. I remember that it was the first time that this organization is going to have a woman being the general manager of the organization. And I read this in the newspaper. And I mean, for me, we're talking about really long time ago to have a woman just being in charge of an international organization was like, what is this? So I read it, that she's coming to lead us. And I met her in the elevator the first day that she came. And I just asked her, how was your day? And she asked me, oh, yeah, it was good. Who are you? So I encouraged a conversation. And in this conversation, I said, I'm an intern, and I know that there is a long distance between your office and my office. But since I have you here, I want you to tell me, what have you done to be a director? Because one day I would like to be one.
Oh.
Conversation that we have, I was 23 years old, and she took the time to tell me how she did. I also told her I have a dream. My dream is to go to the office that we have in New York. At that moment, I was in the office in Spain, in Valencia.
Right.
And she said, okay, tell your boss to come to talk to me, and we'll see. So I think that the mentorship is important, because she was the passport for the city of my life and also for the job that I wanted to do.
Sure.
Another person that comes to my mind is what I call the ladder woman, the woman who put the ladder for you to go up. And this was a peers of me. I mean, we both came to New York at the same time, like interns, but we used to have a very good relationship. We admire each other.
Sure.
And had a conversation. And when she was leaving the Spain-US Chamber of Commerce in a lunch, a good, kind of bye-bye lunch, she said, you know what? You could be the person who replaced me. And I said, no, impossible, because I know how you work, and I don't think But when someone believes in you more than you believe in yourself, that person also became essential, because thanks to her, I became the executive director of the Spain-US Chamber of Commerce, just for a conversation. So I think that it is important, the networking, it is important to really go and say hello to the people who could really inspire you or could have the keys for the door that you want to open.
Yeah.
I think that so many times we just don't speak. We don't voice out what we want. So how we expect that people have like a ball where you see the future and they know that you want that position?
Sure. Yes. You have to put yourself forward, in other words. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. And you had this successful corporate career, and then you decided to go into entrepreneurship. How did that leap happen?
Well, it's interesting. I did not decide it, because as a daughter of immigrants, what an immigrant is looking for is looking for safety, for financial security. So for me, it was not natural to become an entrepreneur, to become a businesswoman. It was not natural.
Mm-hmm.
The first entrepreneurial adventure I had, it was Bisila wines, but I did it while I have my position secure because I was not ready to jump into the space
Mm-hmm.
of being an entrepreneur just yet.
Yeah.
Because I needed that mattress, no? Where, if something happens, I still
need
have
something.
my salary, I have my bonuses and everything. What happened was that I was fired. I was fired from my position.
Oh my goodness.
It was very interesting because you see, the enemy of success is arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
And I was arrogant because I had an amazing career in corporate. I did great things. And that came to my head. And I did not understand one thing in the corporate world, and it's not your company. You're just an instrument for the goals of an organization.
Okay.
And because I had this liberty to do whatever I want, because I had a chairman at that moment, a president, that allowed me to grow and do my projects the way I wanted. But when the organization changed, I did not understand that it was not my organization. So when the new management came, I was not really following the rules. I thought, you know what? I know what I'm doing. Who are they to tell me what to do?
I've done
so
this.
I realized that I was thinking, because I know so much and because I did all these projects that I brought all this money, nobody will touch me. And they did. They put me in the street. And that for me was a very important moment because it raised a question. No, why me? For what? And I realized that if you like to do whatever you want, maybe you are an entrepreneur. Maybe you're a creator.
Right.
And I think this is why it's important to have self-knowledge, because if you don't really react very well to management and you don't like to be in an organization and follow rules in different directions, it might be that the culture of the company it changed completely, but you will have to comply.
Sure.
In this case, I did not want it to because I was comfortable the way things were. And I was not ready for that change. And this is when I took the decision and I realized, you know what? This is who I am. And even though that I'm having so much fear, I was terrified. I was really terrified because at that moment, it was a very difficult moment in my life, personally, professionally. And then I decided, I must go, and whatever happens, happens.
Right.
And just that's when I decided to create my own company, my own consultancy firm, and I reinvent myself.
Yeah. Tell me about that process of reinvention. What were the first 3 things that you did to set yourself up for success as an independent?
The first thing I did is to really invest in personal development. I think that it's not what you do, it's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So before I became the person that you see today, I had to do some inner work. And I did this with the help of mentors. I think that is instrumental, coaches, mentors, not try to do it alone. I think it's good to work with someone who has already the experience and help you. Then you have to decide really what are you good at, to understand your talent, your gift. All of us, we do have talents and gifts.
Right.
Once you embrace that, you're going to discover all the talents and gifts that you might think that you didn't have it. I mean, for example, I was terrified of speaking in public. I never
Really?
trust me.
You're so good
now,
at it.
I might sound eloquent
That's
now.
funny.
I might sound that that I'm really comfortable speaking, but the truth is that when I was in college, I never ever was able to have an oral exam, even with a teacher like here. I was always having panic attacks.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I developed this panic since I was a kid because kids laugh about me. One day that I had to do a poem in the middle of an event, I completely forgot. Everybody laughed. I saw my family being so disappointed that I developed this fear to speak in public. And when you start working, then you realize all the blockages, all the obstacles,
Right.
all the things that you have and you are that you didn't discover. So in this journey of self-discovery, I decided, maybe I should try because I like it. And sometimes what you fear, behind the fear is an opportunity. And now it's something that I do for a living also. So I think that it's important to just do this self-discovery journey to know what are you good at, because maybe you're not good at something. And if you try and try, it's not going to work. So I think also it's important to know when also to stop something, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's not your path and it's not your path. And then I think you need to be surrounded of people who are really your cheerleaders. You need to have this kind of people who really, no matter what, are going to be there for you. And I always say there is 8 types of friends. It's not a conversation because it's too long, but I just want to just say that you need cheerleaders, you need mentors, you need the friend of all your life. You need that friend that holds you accountable, that is the pusher. You need the adventurer. You need the crazy friend. People who challenge you to be the best version of yourself. And I think you will never, ever do what you do without the right people, the right team, the right people who would inspire you. So I would say that this is the first 3 things that I did to make that leap.
That's great. And were there some challenges along the way? I mean, starting a wine business.
I did all the mistakes that it could be in a business book. All the things that you say, avoid this, I went through it. But I think this is how you learn. You learn more from your mistakes. And my life has been shaped from all the mistakes I made. And the first mistake I did is because I did not know the industry. I didn't know really the business. I thought it's a beautiful business because when I was promoting Spain is very big in wines. I had the opportunity to create campaigns for the Rioja wines, for different denominations of origins. I traveled with different winemakers and I understood the wine. But one thing is to see it from the outside, but we were not really informed, and I didn't really have the training that you need sometimes and the information about the industry. And a lot of people grow up in these industries because it comes from generations of family. In my case, it wasn't that case. And I think I was not really well documented. So I think, first of all, you need to know about business. I didn't know about business. I was always in the corporate, but I never had a business on myself.
Right.
So in this case, I did a lot of mistakes. I didn't do a good budget. And I thought also a lot of misperception. I thought because I already had a personal brand somehow, that people will buy from me because I was Bisila Bokoko.
Right.
And it did not happen. It was a catastrophe. I mean, we didn't have sales and I was giving away so much wine. I remember I would send wines to Ghana and to Cameroon and different places and China. And we wanted to be international, but we don't know all the regulations and the taxes that you need to pay, all these bureaucracies. So it's very important to really understand the industry that you are, make a very good budget, and really get to people and around people that they do better than you. So what saved us, and that the reason why still Bisila Wines is alive, is only because of strategic partnerships.
Right.
Then we realized when we were sinking and I had like a debt of 100,000 euros and we were really about to close down, we found the right partner. Somebody who really know how to do the best wines, because the first wines, they were not so good. They did not represent it, because I could not really judge because I was not really a person super documented and educated in wine to understand what is the best wines. So then we had this person who had already a winery. His great-grandfather had a winery. They know wines. And we create this kind of authorship wines, special. The one I wanted to be Bisila Wines stay for, like wine that it's fun to drink, that is feminine. And we diversify also. We have white wine, red wines, and also we have like the champagne wine, like the And we start to winning awards. We won an award in Germany, and then everything changed. But it happened when we had the right partner.
Amazing.
So sometimes another thing that I learned is that you don't have to walk alone.
Yeah.
You need to find the right person and be very, very humble. I don't know this. You know this. Just do it. And this is how we end up to right now. We're still surviving.
Okay, so you have a business partner in this venture.
Yes, we have a business partner in this venture. We have also a general manager that is very good. And I realized that I could not be in the day-to-day and the business. I do what I can do, that is promote it, being the face of the wine, and at the same time having experts doing what they do well.
Wonderful. Yeah. We'll be back after the break. And now, back to the episode. So that brings me to the BBALP, the literacy project that you founded. Tell me about the origins of that.
The origins is incredible for me because it's a beautiful story. It happened because I was a Decaf African. I like to call myself
I like that.
Decaf African. I was born in Spain from African parents, but I was never in Africa. Because when I was growing up, my parents didn't have the opportunity to really take me to the country. So my exposure to Africa was all through books, because ever since I was 9 years old, I was exposed to read about Pan-Africanism, understanding the scars that colonization, slavery had in Black people. It has an impact, but it's different. To understand the reality of being a Black European, being a Black American, being a Black in the Caribbean, being a Black and African, my parents really give me all these books to understand this. I understood also the geopolitical framework of what's going on in Africa. I grew up watching, reading about Nelson Mandela, about the apartheid. My father made us make summaries to understand everything.
I like him.
If not, we will be punished. Like we need to understand what was going on in the continent, understanding also how all the countries and tribes are starting to be together, and why the tribalism problems started, the ethnic problems happened. So all of this I learned since a very early age, but I was not able to see it, to experience it. So my gift when I turned 35 was to go to the continent. And I also did international relations, and my teachers were from Ghana. And I had a project that it was the United States of Africa. That was my thesis in the school. And when I was there, the first thing it was, oh my God, all of these children, the only difference between them and I is that they did not have the opportunities that I have to go to school. I saw so many children that they were not able to go to school. And for me, that was a reality that I never thought I would encounter. And then I realized that somebody said, I never had a book in my hands. Can I hold this? And I always travel with a book.
Right.
And for me, it was like, it's not possible that is happening. And I met a chief, the chief of Kokofu. And the chief of Kokofu, we developed a great relationship, and he made me the Queen Development Mother of Kokofu, which is a very small place near to Kumasi in Ghana. And of course, I just heard the word queen, and I said, oh my God, love this title. And then when my vanity vanished, and I said, okay, but what this means, honestly, I love to be a queen, but what can I do for you?
Yeah.
He said, that is your decision. I'm going to give you a piece of land and just do what you feel that is the right thing to do. And then I created a library, because I realized that if I knew Africa through books, they could know about the world through books, and they could shape their lives through books. So this became my life mission, to make sure that every kid has an access to books, because with a book, you're never alone.
Yeah. And are you only in Ghana, operating in Ghana, or do you have other locations?
We have other locations. Actually, I have a project that is going to go to in South Africa very soon. I've been there
Yay!
times,
My home country.
and I want to partner with different storytellers because the organization is shaping in a different ways. Because when we speak about literacy in the era of artificial intelligence, literacy is more than that. So I want to do also digital literacy.
Yeah.
So the project has developed, and also financial literacy. Because I realized that literacy is much more than know how to read or get an education. It's different areas. So we are in Uganda, we are in Zimbabwe, we are in Kenya, and we are in Ghana. We have collaborations with different countries in Equatorial Guinea, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, with different. Now we're going to go to South Africa is one of the places that we also want to go. But we want to develop a step further. We don't want to be away from the artificial intelligence. That's why I was partnering with different organizations like Dreams Hub. We had a meeting with all the technological hubs in Africa, also with the people of Mountain Valley in Cameroon. And we're trying to work to create digital literacy and making programs from people, children, be exposed since very early age to the digital revolution, because we've never been involved in the industrial revolution, but we can be involved in the digital revolution.
Sure.
And I think Africa needs a voice, and we want to develop that voice. And of course, we don't want anyone behind. And this requires boys and girls to be able to be part of this transformation. But I also believe that without financial education, you can have a lot of knowledge, but you need really to understand how to create better levels of prosperity for you and your communities.
Sure.
So that's the reason why also we have decided to work in these areas.
Sure.
What is literacy itself? Like, yes, we want education, but at the same thing, I believe that in this digital area, in this artificial intelligence time, what is really important is to encourage the kids to have creativity. It is important, empathy and curiosity, I think, and adaptability. I think this is going to be a skills that we're going to need in this 21st century. And for that reason, you need to read, definitely, but you also understand financials, information, and you need to understand also the language of technology.
Right. And how does this play out? Do you have courses? Do you have places where children get taught? Is it physical locations? How does it work?
Do physical locations. For example, in Zimbabwe, we have an spelling contest, and we give a scholarship to the children who win this contest. So we encourage them also to read, to be connected, since they are very small kids. And then they have the opportunity to really get the school paid for the whole year. We have a program, for example, in Kenya, that is also a program with technology. They have classes every Friday, and we gave them some computers and laptops and also tablets, so they could be exposed, and they have this in the middle of the savannah with the Maasai children.
Right.
They don't have the same access the other people. So we try to also work where there's no access. We go where most people, they never even put a feet. So we go in very rural areas and the kids that really have no opportunities. So we also have solar panels, so they could have also the electricity that they need, so they could be connected, because in some areas they challenge the energy. So we work with that. And in Uganda also, we also have different programs. And now we're going to do online several programs for financial literacy, working with some of my friends who are women bankers or women who really know a lot about financial health, basically, and understanding also prosperity and abundance.
Yeah, that's amazing. Such great work. So when do you envisage the South African project starting, and which locations have you chosen for that?
I started in the year 2017. And the first time I was in the World Economic Forum in the year 2012, I think, or 11. That's the first time that I was exposed to South Africa and the realities of South Africa. Of course, you are much more developed than some other countries.
Sure.
But then I learned that there is some communities that also were in challenging situations. And the partnerships at that time did not develop. But the last time I found someone who could really be a good partner, because we need a partner there. We need to find the right person to do these kind of projects, because we want these projects to be sustainable. And we don't want to stop and go. We want something that will stay in the time. So I think sometimes you have to kiss many frogs until you find your prince.
Absolutely.
But right now, I think I kissed the right one. And hopefully I will be at the end of this year going back and just continue with the project.
Sure.
Yeah, but it will be basically next to Pretoria and some of the rural areas around that area. That's the way that we're looking.
Okay. And how are you financed? How do you raise the money to sustain all of these projects?
Well, I've been very slow through the years. We started in the year 2010. Now it's 15 years, and always has been part of the way that I do business is we give part of the benefits of my business to these projects. So this is how we've been funding. My organization is not about to raise funding through galas and make big things and having a board of super top people. For me, this is not my way of living, but from the benefits that I do from the wines profits go to libraries. And also I released a book in the year 2003. And now I'm releasing one this year. In September, I'm going to release my next book. And all of the benefits go also for libraries. I decided that this model allows me to be free to do what I can do. And not rely it in a board or, to having so many problems. So when there is no biases, because when my team and we decided to go somewhere, we're trying to do the best we can. We find the partners and we just do it. So I go slow. But the thing is that we make more impact because we don't have all the politics that implies to have big organizations.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. And the people who come with me, I also do organized travels. Just trips where I bring 10 people, for example, up to 18 people. Now I'm going to go with a group of Mexican business women, and we're all going to go to Kenya. So they see the project themselves. I'm not asking them for money. They see it and they want to contribute. Because living with the communities, knowing these children, they want to be part of the narrative of these children. So my way of working is different. I don't ask for money. You want to give the money because you are there.
Yeah.
And you realize that you can create the impact. So you do it yourself. So my friends and my contacts, they do it with me.
Yeah.
Because they come with me and they see it. So they get engaged from a different perspective.
Interesting. Yeah. That's a really amazing approach. So tell me about this book that's coming out in September. What is it called and what is it about?
Well, the name we're still with the publisher, but for now, and I think it's going to stay this way, is The Fear and I, An Unexpected Story. The first book is called We All Have a Story to Tell. And I speak more about my journey. And in this book, I speak about my relationship with fear. How fear has been part of my life since my ancestors. I started speaking from the fear that my great-grandmothers experienced. Some of them, they were killed, situations of domestic violence, and how this fear traveled through my veins and also blocked me in many ways. The fear also of the unknown when you are an immigrant, like my families have to experience. The fear of me being the daughter of immigrants, immigrate myself to the United States. The fear of being who I am. The fear of my own color of the skin. The fear of really embrace entrepreneurship or, be who I am. Just that fear. And embrace your roots. So I speak about different kinds of fears. There's 12 chapters, speaking about also the fear to be successful. The Jonas complex. A lot of women, we have that fear. About the syndrome of the Wonder Woman. I can do everything.
All at the same time. And still look great.
And I'm not sweating. I'm always sweating, no matter what. And I'm never tired. So that is also a sign of fear, the imposter syndrome, that we all know very well. all these fears has names, have shapes, and they are the water. They take all the forms. The
Right.
perfectionism. So I speak about this openly. And of course, I studied this for many, many years. And I speak from my experience, also being a mentor for CEOs, to understand that all of us, fear is universal. The fear of death,
Yeah,
right? It's a
that's
fear that we
real.
all have, the fear of getting old. Right now, we are all talking about longevity. You just go on Instagram, everybody talking about how we could stay here forever. And I just speak about Africans, we see this fear differently because what I experienced with my grandmothers, that they were so happy to be old. They were really wisdom and they embrace their age.
Yep.
And right now we're rejecting this. So in the book, I also speak about cultural intelligence. I mean, how from one culture or another, we see the fears differently.
Sure. Yeah. So
So yeah,
funny.
I
Yeah.
think I had fun writing it.
Yeah. What did you discover about yourself through writing this book?
Well, first of all, that I have so much fears. All the fears listed, except the fear of sickness. I've never been really a fear of sickness because I always saw myself healthy. But everybody know hypochondriacs, people who, they hear something
Constantly
and
sick.
immediately they go to Google and I have these symptoms. And some people in my family have this fear. I think, except that one, a lot of the fears I just experienced through myself. And I speak about how I overcome that fear, how I make friends with the fear of not having money. I mean, this was one of the fears that took my sleep so many times. How am I going to do this? How am I going to take care of my children? I mean, all of these fears exist. And I talk openly about how do I experience them and what I did. And I gave my tips. I mean, this is how it helped me to go from A to Z. What I did, and I just expose and I give people exercises to see how you could definitely become a friend of fear.
Yeah.
Because fear is going to be part of your life always. So better for you if you became friends and you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Conversation that instead of blocking you, really it is a trampoline for you. It's something that gives you the impulse that you need.
Nice.
And that's what fear sometimes is trying to tell you. And it's trying to be a guide. It's trying to be a compass. But we are used to run away from the fear.
Deny it.
So that's one thing I discovered.
Yeah, that's nice. And who is it aimed at?
Everyone. I mean, I think it's made for everyone because I speak about different fears ever since you are in the school. To choose a career that you might think, oh, no, I have to make money. I should not do that. That fear of choosing what you want to do. How many decisions we make looking for money, not looking for a passion, right? So I think from early age, it will benefit you to read this. I also think that for entrepreneurs and people who want to be in business, who are in corporate and would like to do the jump, people also who are in corporate that they are stuck and they never move forward. I think so. There is some fears that don't allow you because you have the fear to be visible. And the fear of being visible, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like no one sees you. So definitely you're never going to get that promotion that you want. So I speak also about these things. And also I think for mothers, stay-home mothers, who really believe that they could not do more, or people who have certain age. I mean, ageism exists. I mean, everybody is like, everything is about age.
Sure.
Well, I did so many things after 40. My real journey started after 40. And I'm in my 50s and I just started. So
yeah, it's just the beginning, right?
Exactly. So I think that it's meant to men, women, and I was also surprised of the first book. I make an statistics. My youngest reader was a girl of 7 years old from Moroccan origin. And the other person was a man from Valencia who was 78.
Oh, wow.
And he was an a businessman. Let's say he has a big corporation. So I realized, wow, if my story was, I mean, and he gave me such a beautiful feedback. So we make any statistics and we realize that I don't really have an audience that is really a niche.
Right.
It's
It's
it's a speak
universal.
for anyone, and actually fear. Who doesn't have fear? In this case, I think this book will be even more appealing to a bigger, larger audience.
Wonderful, wonderful. We'll be back after the break. And now, back to the episode. And the other way that you tell your story is through a podcast called Bibi Knows Best. Tell me what you discuss on there and who should listen.
This podcast started because one of my great sisters and person who has been longer working with me, she is a Congolese French girl, amazing. She baptized me with Bibi and said, oh, you know all these best practices, right? So you have to do this and give them advice about different areas. So we started in 2020 when it was the time that we all were home and I had a lot of time. So we create this podcast. I started in YouTube. I did it in English and Spanish because I have audience that they speak both languages. And it started to pick up and it was good. And then when we had to go back to work and I didn't have so much time, before it was releasing an episode every week and it was video, but then I didn't have so much time. So we decided to just keep it like an audio podcast. And sometimes we do have videos and interviews with people who are very interesting. Like now we have one releasing in the middle of August that is going to be with someone who works in the space agency, the European Space Agency.
Yeah.
But he's a very spiritual, deep spiritual person, even though that he's an electrical engineer and he's a PhD in physics. He still talk about astrology, about Kabbalah, and about different spiritual things. But we have these kind of conversations in the podcast, and it's always to bring people who know a lot about something.
Nice.
So it's not me knowing everything, but I invite people who know in different areas. And the podcast, we have 2 a month. We release it in English. And also I have another podcast, it's mostly in Spanish. It's called Tu Mejor Yo, which means the best you. And that's for the Spanish speaking audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are very busy. I like that.
You see, I am. And a lot of people say the day has 24. Yesterday, actually, someone asked me, the day has for you 24 hours too, because I have children, I'm married, I have mother, father, brothers, sisters, I mean,
Exactly.
friends.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that we need to be extremely careful. And I speak about that, the fear of time. I don't have time. I never say that. There is 2 things that you need to remove from your vocabulary immediately. I don't have money and I don't have time. Because that becomes your mantras. Every time you say, I don't have time, you shorten your time. So I always have time. And never say, I don't have money. We always have money for whatever we want to have it.
That is true.
I think this is so powerful. When you remove that 2 sentences out of your vocabulary, you just reshape your mindset in a way and you start attracting a different reality. So I do have time. I do exercise. I go to the gym. I actually, yesterday I was in the gym with my kids. We always working out. I mean, then we had dinner. And I also have several companies that I manage. I have a team of 12 people. I mean, I
There's
could
a
do
way.
it. But I think it's a way. And my advice for everyone who's listening is just have that time. Give yourself the opportunity to have time. Say you have the time and you will make it.
Yeah. So a quick rapid fire. First thing that comes to mind, just answer as you best see fit.
Sure.
Which businesswoman do you admire and why?
I admire Oprah. She was my first source of inspiration because when I was growing up, I never really have a reference point.
Yeah.
I mean, the first biography of a woman that I read, that it was Benazir Bhutto, who was the first minister. And my parents gave me that book. And at that time in the 80s, when I was growing up, at that time, it wasn't. So the first time that I heard about a Black woman being a millionaire, billionaire, in the 90s, it was Oprah. So she's still in the game. So in this case, I will say this is the first one that comes to my mind.
Great. And apart from Oprah, if you had to host another famous Black woman at dinner, who would it be and why?
I would like to have Michelle Obama.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because I also think that being so smart and being holding the space the way she did in a very difficult time, I think I would love to have a wonderful conversation with her. And I also, if I could bring a woman that is not in this dimension, it would be Cleopatra too. I would love to have a conversation. I heard that she speaks a lot of languages, that she was an extremely great diplomat. And I always had a lot of admirations for people who are very worldly, that they're culturally intelligent, and they're able to be people who shape different narratives. So
yeah, great. And what is the one thing you can't do without on any given day?
One thing I cannot do is reading. I need to have a book with me. I mean, I'm addicted to books. If you tell me what is a big addiction, sugar and books.
That's great. And what's the best life advice you've received and still apply to this day?
I think the best advice that I ever, and actually, I don't know from where, but I think I read this sentence, and is, I don't follow orders, I follow my dreams. I didn't hear from someone, but that I just applied to my life, and it became like really the way I do my life.
Nice. If people want to work with you, want to get in touch and just discover a lot more about Bisila, where can they find you?
Number one, don't be shy. Write me. Because a lot of people is like, she's so busy. You're not the person who make that decision. I make that decision.
Yes.
So just write me. And you can write me through Instagram, LinkedIn. My name is here, Bisila Bokoko. All the channels, my website, everywhere you can find me. And I will be there.
Wonderful. Thanks for listening to Shades and Layers. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, keep celebrating the shades and layers of your story.